All right, this presentation is going to walk through how to complete the African Americans in Civil War activity and lesson. As we're going through, you'll notice that this lesson is coming to us after we've already looked at our life at war and we've looked at the specific experiences held to from soldiers who fought in the Civil War. If that is unfamiliar to you, be sure to check onto Google Classroom in order to go back and remind yourself. As we are looking some things to note, a lot of terminology has changed. In a few moments on my next slide, which I'm going to skip on this presentation, but on my next slide, you're going to see a quick little clip of video of the experiences held by Black soldiers during the U.S. Civil War. And you're going to notice that some terms have changed, and terms that are used in the past are no longer used. They reflect the language of the time. If those terms are scrubbed away and the people's experiences are scrubbed away, then it kind of removes the accomplishments that were held to and fought for by those individuals. So on this next video, as you're looking through, specifically the primary sources are going to reference some different terms that we're not using anymore. It's just something to be aware of. And again, I'm going to skip this one, otherwise it's going to play over the video and it becomes quite confusing. The purpose of our lesson today is we are going to create a report in the style of a newspaper article which serves facts about African Americans who served during the Civil War. This is going to specifically help us to better understand experiences held by 104 African Americans who were fighting for the 1st and other Minnesotan regiments. Of course, the famous one being the 1st Minnesota Regiment. A reminder about the schematics for how to write a newspaper article. When you are writing your newspaper article, you need to have your 5 W's, who, what, when, where, and why, at the start. You'll notice that it's kind of like an inverted pyramid. You have the base right here, trickling down as you continue down your article. For our article, we are going to start off with answering who, what, when, where, and why right away. So that way the reader is better prepared and better informed as to the importance of our article. Just like a normal newspaper article, when you write, you start with those big major questions and then you trail further downwards, becoming a little bit more specific. Newspapers are made for the general audience. And so the general audience might be interested in the main part of our story, the who, what, when, where, and why. And as we trickle down, maybe a reader is going to say, you know what, I'm not so interested in this story, I'm going to move to another one, because they've already got their main ideas, those 5 W's. So on our newspaper, we're going to start with the most important, and then we're going to trickle down as we continue, trailing to what we feel might be the least important fact. As we're doing our writing, some things to remember. Your paragraph should be brief. Newspapers have short sentences, 10 to 12 words. Now, while I'm not specifically counting the words that we're working on in a sentence, I am looking to see that your sentence is written in the sense of a newspaper article. Your first paragraph should have a reference to the image that we're about to see. On your graphic organizer, you're going to see an image, and your first paragraph should have some acknowledgement and reference to that image. I'm going to show you this third one here, how you can combine several facts into a complete paragraph. I'll show you what that looks like. And then, just like a real newspaper, we want to make sure that we're checking it for grammar and spelling when we're done. Your graphic organizer is going to look like this. Here I've got it blown up. On your graphic organizer, you're going to see going down is a list of facts and then a section for your writing. Here's my graphic organizer. There's that picture that we talked about. Here are those same tips, so I'm prepared. And this is my list of facts. For this activity, the first thing you should do is read all of your facts. So I'm going to go off and I'm going to read these facts. After I read my facts, I'm going to select what I feel might be the most important. The who, what, when, where, and why. So when I'm looking through on my facts, I might look at which one might answer a who, what might answer a when, a where, and a why. as you're going through, keep in mind that a who could be a proper noun group, right? It could be a group of people, or it could just be that which would be a noun, or it could be a proper noun, which is a specific person. I'm going to select some facts that might be mid-level facts, some medium, mid-level facts, the ones that are not my who, what, when, where, and why. When I'm looking at this activity, if I see a fact and it's not a who, what, when, where, or why, maybe I put it in my second paragraph. Then I'm going to rewrite my facts into my complete sentences. You are not going to copy and paste from the list of facts. You are putting them into your own words. And the last step is to put my writing in the space provided in the right here box. If you're lost, some things that might start you off, here are some sentence starting ideas. During the Civil War, African Americans played a vital role by. Many African Americans joined the fight because, despite challenges faced like African Americans showed bravery by famous African American regiment became well known for. After the war, contributions of African Americans allowed to. And then here are some more sentence starters. Many people during the war faced challenges like one way that the African Americans contributed to the war was, a key moment in the war was, experienced by different groups show, and the story highlights the importance of shaping the events. Here is your rubric. In order to get a 4.0 on this, you're making sure that you are demonstrating multiple facts, 8. Where'd I get my 8 from? I got my 8 from 6 base level facts and 2 mid-level facts. Those would be 8. No errors in grammar or spelling, and all of this is in my own words. If I'd like a 3.0, I show a decent understanding of the topic. There are 6 to 7 facts and a few errors in grammar or spelling, and some facts are just copy-pasted. To get a 2.0, shows some understanding. There are some facts. There's a noticeable amount of grammar and spelling errors, and facts are not restated, which means just copy and paste. To get a 1.0 on this activity, you are showing minimal understanding. There are just a few facts, a lot of spelling errors, and it's all copied. Some additional information as you're going through, if you'd like to add to your facts, here are a few pages that will help you out, that will talk specifically about the experiences held by African Americans as they're going through. So this one's going to bring me up to a story about the United States Colored Troops going through all of their contributions. And as I'm going through, I can use this link on the Smithsonian page. Some of you might go off and look at the National Archives, which will talk about Black volunteers during the Civil War. This is going to walk us through a lot more information, and this comes to us from the Archives page. The U.S. Army's got a page, African American servicemen. You've got the PBS page, and then since this is a Minnesota course, we have our Minnesota Historical Society page, which is going to walk us through. We're going to be able to see some here. African Americans is located right in this tab here, okay? You'll be able to see how African Americans, specifically in the state of Minnesota, interacted with the experiences held by those in the Civil War. Flowing back into our graphic organizer, you're going to see all of our facts are here. And one thing that we mentioned in our presentation was how to combine facts. If you are looking to combine some facts, perhaps I'm going to demonstrate that by using my highlighter tool, which is located right here. If I'm going to combine some facts, like maybe I'm going to talk about how many African Americans were serving and how many regiments there might be, I might say there were 166 African American regiments. So I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to make this one green. I'm going to use this as my important color, green. There were 166 all African American regiments. And then I might say one of those was the first to enter Richmond, the Confederate capital. So how would I type that out? I would say, of all the regiments in the U.S. Civil... Wow, spelling is hard today. Civil War, there were 166 all African American regiments. One of these was the first regiment to enter the Confederate capital of Richmond, Virginia. I've taken that fact and I've taken this fact and I've combined it and I've made it into a green text. A blue squiggly means there's some sort of spelling error. A red squiggly, if I was to put in a spelling error there, well, Google's got to identify maybe that this is a spelling error. It's not going to do it. If I see a red squiggly, then I know it's a spelling error. A blue squiggly is a grammar error. That's how to work on the African Americans Fight for Freedom graphic organizer and how to view the presentation.